Hello everyone, this is Jason from Primetime Aquatics. Today you get to see a part of the basement you have never seen before. It's the top secret area, but it's no longer going to be top secret. Stay tuned. It has been a really long time since we've done any kind of a fish room update, but today I'm going to be talking about what we're going to be doing here in the not too distant future. We've got some changes coming to the fish room, and so I'm going to take you around the fish room and show you what we're going to be doing. Some of you may remember way back last fall, we got some really good deals on some 125-gallon fish tanks. We also got a great deal on the 50-gallon lowboy. One of those 125s went up on the other side. The 50-gallon lowboy went on the side over here. We put some apistos in there and some pencil fish. Looked really cool. Now, behind me, right here, we have two more 125s, and they have been sitting in the basement probably for about 8 months. And I think it's now time to get those up and running. The issue we were having is we had a giant area that we had to clear out. There was a lot of stuff. It's one of the reasons why it's never been on camera. It's kind of like the garbage collection area of a home, where it wasn't really garbage, it was just a lot of stuff stored over here on this side. We had to get that cleared out, but now we're ready to go. These 125s can go up, but not only that, Joanna's finally going to get her Nano wall, so we're going to take a look at that as well. So this is the area that is going to be updated. Now right along this wall, we're going to put the 125s. I was hoping we could put the 125s along this cement wall, which won't be cement when we're done. However, it's not quite long enough from where the dehumidifier is to the wall. So the 125s are actually going to go along this wall. We're going to double stack them like we did in the other area. And then this whole wall here where it is currently cement, that is going to be Joanna's Nano wall. Now let me show you what she's got. She's got some really cool tanks that she's looking to set up. So here's what she's got so far. There's two on the bottom. I believe those are 7.5-gallon tanks. We've used them for various reasons in the fish room, mostly for fry grow outs. We're gonna get those things cleaned up a little bit. They're gonna go on her Nano wall. We've also got these two long tanks. They're really cool. I believe they're somewhere around 5-ish gallons or so. We picked those up when we were at the shop hop with the Greater Chicago Cichlid Association, and we also have this Fluval Spec 5 gallon. So those are some of the tanks that are going to go on her wall. I'm not sure if we're going to end it there. It's really going to be up to her how many tanks she wants to maintain. But this is kind of where we're headed with her part of the wall. Sorry for the glare, but you're just getting real time here. What's going to go in the 125s? So in one of the 125s, we've got some fish in this 75 that are going to be moving, and they're going to be moving because they're going to be too big for this 75. So over here, they're hard to see and they're shy, and I'm going to move the camera and then they're going to go, aha, I tricked them. Over here, we've got some Geophagus pellegrini. There's 6 of them in the tank, I believe, and they're going to get bigger. Now there's a random hybrid peacock over here. I put it in here because I really wanted to set this guy aside, and I figured this would be one tank where he'd be safe, and they're working out fine. This fish will not go in the 125, but for right now, I just want to see the colors. It's going to be super awesome. I just turned the lights on, so the colors aren't very good, but the pellegrini that are in the back that are super, super shy, they are going to go in the 125, along with some other South American fish. I want to plant the tank. I think it's going to look awesome. I hope it will, but we'll see. That's probably my first plan. Once we clear out that 75, I really want to get these two, Roger and Ruby, in the 75. Lately, Roger's been a little bit rough on Ruby. He hasn't really attacked her, but he just kind of pushes her to the corner. So one of the things I want to do when I set up that 75-gallon is give her an area that's kind of her own where he can't really get in there. So some type of a cave structure where it's going to be big enough for her, but not big enough for him to get in. But he's really growing. He's a super awesome fish. These are red devils. They're a pair. They've given me lots of eggs, some fry, and then they vanish. So possibly in that 75, maybe we'll have better luck. But I absolutely adore this fish, but they definitely need a bigger space. So this 40-gallon is going to be a thing of the past. And then that frees up this 40-gallon. And one of the things I want to do is use this. What is this, you ask? This is big, giant pieces of styrofoam. And I've had this stuff in the basement forever. And now I think it's time to go ahead and get this stuff used. What are we going to use it for? The 20-gallon that's upstairs, I did a kind of pseudo cement looking rock wall using styrofoam, cement, and a little bit of coloring. It's worked out really well for years, and I want to do that in that 40-gallon breeder because it's a deeper tank. I think it's going to look cool. I've had this stuff for a while, At some point this summer, I think it's time to do another one of those walls, put it in the 40. I think it's gonna look pretty cool. In the process of making changes to the fish room, this 37 gallon has always been kind of just a breeding tank, a grow out tank, but we've got this group of Burchardi that are breeding in here now. There's a ton of babies. I know they're super hard to see on camera. Trust me, they are in there in the center. Not really liking what this tank is doing right now. I've got some leftover white labs and albino white labs stuck there behind the sponge filter. I need to get them out and either get them to somebody who can really love them and put them in an appropriate tank with appropriate inhabitants, or I need to move them to a tank where, in our fish room, where they're gonna be a little bit more, they're gonna fit in a little bit better. These Rasboras here, the brilliant green Rasboras, their purpose was to serve as a dither fish because the white labs were not coming out very often. That problem has been solved just because the Burchardi are out. But I think I'm gonna move those Rasboras into the 50-gallon lowboy, make this a Burchardi breeding tank, fix it up a little bit, make it look a little nicer, and I think that will be a much nicer thing to look at. Some of you may remember this as the Guppy Party Tank. There's not much of a party going on here anymore. In fact, I would call it the Mystery Snail Hangout Tank. There's just one of them in here, along with some pest ram's horn snails, and there might be a few stray guppies left. This tank, we're going to redo this. I think what I want to do is maybe do some type of small Central or South American cichlid in here, possibly a breeding group. I don't know if I'm going to do a biotope or a planted tank, but this tank is definitely going to get some updates. As a cool side note, the tank next to it, however, is really cool. These are blue dwarf panda guppies, and they don't get very big. The males stay relatively small, and I really like the way they're looking. If you look over here in the back, they're tiny, but they're super cool looking. So I think we're gonna go ahead and spruce up this tank a little bit too. Of course, we still have our L10A plecos in here. There's 3 of them. Haven't gotten them to breed. Really need to start figuring that situation out, but they're super cool. Now you may be asking yourself, what are you going to do with the other tanks, the other 125? What are you going to do with Joanna's tanks? I don't know what Joanna's going to do with her tanks. I'm going to let her decide that, how she wants to plan them, what inhabitants she wants. The other 125, I'm really torn because we have a number of options. We have the Geophagus brasiliens. It's currently in a 33 long. That is not a long-term solution for them, so they need to move. Whether that means I thin out the herd a little bit and move them into a slightly larger tank, like a 55 or a 75, or if that means taking the entire group and moving them into the 125, that would then free up that top 33 long for something else. Would love to hear from you in the comments section below. Is that something you'd like to see? The other option, and something I've been toying with for a very long time, is a large lake Tanganyika setup. For those of you who have been following the channel for quite some time, you know we love our lake Tanganyikan fish. In the 125, that would be a really cool setup with a number of different inhabitants. So we're still kind of playing with a number of ideas. We could go with a large planted tank. Again, if you've got an opinion, leave that in the comments section below. Would love to hear from you. What is the tank that you'd like to look at on our channel? So if you enjoyed this video, share, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.